This is the value of wrestling, the revolutionary force in wrestling podcasting.
Has Kota Ibushi signed with AEW? Has a trade finally been made for Jey Uso to SmackDown, and who could it be? Who else might be making a surprise appearance on WWE TV tonight and SmackDown? And what other news and rumors are going on in the world of professional wrestling? And has Tony Khan became the Donald Trump of the wrestling world when it comes to Twitter? We're going to talk about that and so much more. So join us right after this. Oh, we're back on the big time. You know who I am. This is Big Time Rant right here on the Value Wrestling on YouTube. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for tuning in. And I hope you're ready as we break down everything. It looks like it's confirmed by Kota Ibushi himself. He is signed to AEW. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like Kota Ibushi has confirmed that he is all elite and has signed a deal with AEW. And he has came out and confirmed it. But he will still, it looks like he will still be active in Japan, but he is in agreement there with AEW, and Kota Ibushi is officially all elite. What do you think about Kota Ibushi being all elite? Rumors and rumors on CM Punk. Why was CM Punk in Orlando? Was he at the Performance Center? There's something going on with WWE? No, he's there for Cage Fight Fury. He has tapings down there and stuff going on with Cage Fury Fighting, as it is called. Excuse me if I pronounce that wrong. But he will be down there, and his buddy Ace Steel also lives in Florida. So Punk just visiting, got some Cage Fight Fury plans going on there. Not anything to do with the Performance Center. So let's squash those rumors right before they get started. Anywho, WWE got some major plans going down the pipeline for tonight. Big names coming out of the woodworks. It looked like the possibility that there's a huge spoiler, but it looks like the national treasure himself, who has been working as a producer for WWE, is set to make his on-screen debut. It's not noted how or what he will actually do. He may be portraying a authority figure in the company. We don't know. He may show up during Triple H's announcement, but we will have to see. But it definitely looks like we may get to see Nick Aldis, the national treasure, on WWE TV tonight. WWE also working on who is traded. We know that Jey Uso going to Raw has left a opening for a trade from Raw to SmackDown, that there's a spot available on SmackDown, and we have heard lots of talks about what is this rumor going to be, how is this going to play out, who is going to be the one that gets traded. Well, it may happen tonight. This may be part of Triple H's big announcement, but a lot of speculation, a lot of rumors are pointing that Kevin Owens is going to be traded to the Raw, that we're going to see Kevin Owens is going to be traded to SmackDown. We're going to see Kevin Owens back on SmackDown. And this could be a part of the big announcement. So a lot of things going on there. We know Triple H has a big announcement. We know that possibly Kevin Owens is going to be on the show. We're thinking that Nick Aldis will be on the show. I believe there is a title match. Cody Rhodes and Jey Uso should be on that match. It looks like their match has been accepted by Grayson Waller and Austin Theory for the titles. So we'll have to definitely see how that plays out. Internal words on Ronda Rousey's WWE contract status. It does not look like anything is now. But we will have to see. It does look like she wrestled her last match at SummerSlam, and it appears that she has other options. But it looks like Ronda Rousey has run off in the sunset, and I don't think we're going to see Ronda Rousey back in a WWE ring anytime soon. We are always breaking news, and we will keep you informed and updated on any of that if anything comes out from Ronda Rousey. But Ronda Rousey didn't really do what I think a lot of people thought she was going to do in WWE. Doesn't look like she got over in the way she thought. And of course, there was a lot of backfire with her run in WWE on a couple of different things. Now, I'm sure you're ready for it, and we got to break it down. Break it down real quickly. Is Tony Khan the Donald Trump of professional wrestling? Is Tony Khan the Twitter man like Donald Trump? Recently, Tony Khan has just been running himself all over Twitter, and of course, he doesn't have to go through anybody with AEW about what he posts. And of course, in one of his unhinged posts, he talked about back when WWE was contract tampering, and that this really set into place his issues. It was also during this time that his mother was recovering. And here we go in a Twitter that was Tony Khan said today, not that I should be surprised, but the same WWE avatar accounts that spam me every day, no matter what I say or what it's about, now turning their wrath to mother recovering from a near-death experience, and what is why I straight hate these people to the bottom of my heart with all my soul. And so Tony Khan responded to his own tweet saying, this weekend marks 1 year since the Mayo Clinic saved my mom's life. During her ordeal, many AEW talent came to me alleging WWE tampering, inducing them to break their contracts. I'll never forget these phone calls at her side in the hospital when business became personal for me. So we know a year ago, a lot of issues with Tony Khan, WWE, Triple H possibly tampering contracts. All the details are kind of out there. It's been back and forth. We know Tony Khan called Triple H and Shawn Michaels bald a-holes. We know he took a shot that a fan put out a post saying that Shawn Michaels was now going to be the Booker of the Year. And Tony Khan said, after this show, I think he blew his chances at that. He took shots at Vince McMahon, which I don't think many people care if he takes shots at Vince McMahon in that form. But then he also took a very big shot at the fact that John Cena and The Undertaker were both on NXT and did not do 1 million viewers, and talked about how it's been 2 decades since either of these men have been in any type of show, a 2-decade precedent that either of these men have been on a show that rated lower than 1 million people. So Tony Khan's definitely been worked up. He's definitely out there blowing off steam. He's out there really going at it, making just kind of, he seems unhinged. He's coming off the wall a little bit to some people. And he's fueled. He's upset. Justifiably, not justifiably. It all depends on where you want to stand. You can stand there and say he's justifiably angry. You can say, well, he's going over the top. It's all speculative based on how you want to view the situation. Tony Khan had to go head-to-head with NXT on Tuesday night. Tony Khan booked a decent show, had some good matches on the show, had a few things that left people questioning. Of course, now we're getting more information, like the Rey Fenix situation. Rey Fenix lost the international title because Rey Fenix has visa issues coming up that may cause his ability to be in the United States or work in the United States compromised, so therefore giving up the title down so they don't run into issues later, which kind of makes that understandable. Hopefully they'll give us a storyline better than, the true. They can do something to give us a reason why, more or less, to fill that in. We're still kind of waiting for why Saraya dropped her title to Hikaru Shida. That is still out there in the open. But Tony Khan has definitely been out on the leash, just coming off unhinged, just going on to Twitter. Of course, he made some major announcement. We're going to get the first time ever Jay White versus Penta next week on Dynamite. And, he's taking his shots at Tuesday Night Wars. It did show that in one night, based on the viewer numbers, and if we go based just on the viewership, that WWE NXT got 921,000, while AEW got 655,000, I believe it was. WWE NXT won for the night based on the viewership numbers. If you go particularly by viewership, if you go by numbers for that night, WWE beat NXT, or NXT beat AEW Dynamite for that one night. That one night, NXT came out. Did they pull out a lot of big names? Yes. Is this what WWE is known for? Yes. Did they go out and say, okay, you're coming to our show, we're going to make a stand and show you what we can do? Yes. Was it WWE being afraid? You can say that until you're blue in the face, and that's how you feel that WWE was afraid and felt this necessity to bring in all these big stars because AEW scared them, and this is why AEW won. That's your opinion, and that's fine. I don't necessarily think there was a fear in WWE. I think WWE saw them coming on Tuesday nights and said, hey, we're going to make a stand. We're going to show you why we're WWE. And yeah, they pulled in John Cena. They pulled in a Cody Rhodes. They pulled in some fairly big names to go head to head with Tony Khan and Dynamite for the one night. And I think that was more of a power show than a fear tactic in that sense. I think they just wanted to come out and go, hey, look, we got talent. We can make games. We can get viewers. And they did what they wanted to do for that night. Tony Khan, he's all over the place, and he's taking to Twitter. He's running. And so, I mean, you can make a comparison between him and Donald Trump. Donald Trump gets on Twitter and all these other things and runs off on a tangent because he's upset, angry, or whatever else. And you can be offended if me comparing to Tony Khan to Donald Trump offends you. Well, I'm sorry about your damn luck. This is an opinion piece. This is just a theory of how you can look at it from one view. If it makes you mad, well, hey, you know what? You got the comments below to voice your opinion. You can go off. You can say what you want. Just be respectful and polite because there's no reason to be mean here. We're all open to everybody's opinions, views. I'm just giving you a narrative of how Tony Khan can kind of look like Donald Trump when he's going off on these unhinged tweeters about, what's going on. And for me, I think Tony Khan needs to quit worrying about what WWE did in one night and worry about what AEW is going to do in many nights in the future and getting their show and program back on track, getting the viewership numbers back up to where they used to be, getting their ticket sales back up where they used to be. The AEW is hurting, and whether Tony Khan wants to admit that or wants to force blame on the other things, whether he dislikes WWE and Vince McMahon and Triple H and everybody over there because of what happened a year ago, with the contract tampering situation and the phone calls and all the details there. I can understand where he's upset. Feels violated. He had a tragic situation going on with his mother, so I can understand his anger. But again, I would say sometimes you've got to let it go. You don't have to like these people. You don't have to respect these people, but sometimes letting all that fester, it's not going to bring out the best. And the best way to be better than WWE, the best way to get over on them, the best way to get at them is not necessarily on Twitter. I think you draw more attention, and WWE gets to laugh as they see you running around, running your mouth off. Like we've seen Donald Trump run around, and people just kind of laugh because he says all these off-the-wall things, whether you respect the man, like the man. This isn't about who you like, dislike, or anything else. It's not a matter of liking this person, that person. It's just a comparison of the idea of when somebody goes on a Twitter rant and puts it out there, they make themselves look one way or another, depending on how you look at the person and what is going on with all that story. Tony Khan, to me, I think just focus on making AEW better. Focus on creating new young talent and bringing them up and making your young talent want to stay part of AEW so they don't want to go to WWE, that they know that they're here, they got security, and that they're going to be used correctly. Take all the talent you have and start putting on really good matches. Bring us the best of best storylines that you can come up with. Go hire some of the best creative writers in the era, in the time. There's people out there. You can write stories. You can tell stories. It's obvious people want more storytelling. They like wrestling, but we want a little more storytelling in that wrestling. And I think you can do that, Tony. I think you have the ability. I think you have some of the greatest minds in the business around you. So go out and figure out how to make your program better. Make people come watch your programming by giving them special attractions, by making them follow a storyline, by building up titles and title matches at pay-per-views where people want to buy those pay-per-views. You can do it, Tony. You did it in the past. So WWE is on a good track. AEW is on a track that is good, but they've hit a horse bump, a little speed bump in the road here, and they need to get back on track. And I think Tony Khan and all the amazing talent over there can do it. But going on Twitter, ranting about everything, being upset, it's fine. Be upset, be angry, but at the same time, do something about it. Don't just run your mouth about it. Do something about it. Don't just sit here and Twitter this, Twitter that, but make something that shows that, hey, we're not here to be taken lightly. We are going to put on the best shows. We're going to put on the best entertainment. We're going to do things that are different. We are going to put ourselves ahead and out there on a whole new level than WWE. And I think Tony Khan, AEW, with the talents and the people that are there, they can do it. They just got to do it. It's not a whole sense of
Do or do not. There is no try.
Exactly. And I think that's what Tony Khan needs to do is get at it, get it done, and take all that frustration, that anger, that rage, whatever you want to label it as, put it into AEW programming, and bring out the best in your stars, your wrestlers, your people you have, and take it and book the best shows, make amazing matches, make storylines that are incredibly amazing, and keep fans invested. And if you go back, I'm sure you're a fan of the Attitude Era. I'm sure you're a fan of WCW with the NWO. What worked there? Let's bring a little more dose of reality in there. Let's bring storylines on multiple platforms that carry on, that drag you in, that build to a pay-per-view where you make people want to go, $60, but I want to see this pay-per-view so bad. Bam. And they're ready to throw. I mean, you want them to throw their money at you. You want to make a pay-per-view so great that they're throwing your money at you. Or if you get on streaming for service and you get into a premium and live events like WWE, that's great. Let's get it done. Let's get forward, and let's get people a reason to watch your Wednesday night show. Let's get people reasons to watch your Saturday night show, Collision. Let's get people in the arena so those places sound loud and hyped, and the fans that are there are getting the fans at home hyped up and ready to watch the show. And these are the slight things that are lacking in AEW. Tony Khan, you do good at some things. Sometimes you drop the ball. Same with Triple H. We all agree and disagree on everything, and that's what professional wrestling is all about. That's what makes professional wrestling great. Is that we as fans can come together, we can talk, we can discuss, and we can understand one another. And we don't always have to agree or have the same opinion, but at the end of the day, we can all agree that what's best for wrestling is when fans are excited about wrestling, and that's what we're looking for. So it's Tony Khan, the Donald Trump of professional wrestling right now. Is his fingers getting ahead of him? It's all open to opinion, and your opinion matters too, because right here at the Value Wrestling, we want to hear your comments. We want you to share your opinions. That's what the comments down below are for, is to discuss, share your opinion, share your comments. You can disagree with me. You can agree with me. You can go off on your own, your own thought pattern, your own opinion, and that's fine. All we do ask is that you're respectful. There's no reason to be rude, hateful, disrespectful to anybody, because we're all fans here, and we're all just voicing ourselves. And at the end of the day, we can remember that we can still get along even if we agree to disagree. We do not have to agree with everything going on. Yeah, all of us here at the Value of Wrestling, we don't necessarily agree with each other on everything, especially when it comes to professional wrestling. Paulus Clark and myself have been friends for a long time. We've liked different wrestlers. Our top favorite wrestlers are totally different. We've had our opinions, we've agreed, and we still agree to disagree. And that's what makes this show fun. That's what makes the weekly roundup fun, is when we get in and we can talk about these difference of opinions and what they think is better and what I might think is better or what I disagree with or what they disagree with. And that's what makes this thing fun. That's what makes professional wrestling fun. And that is why we are here, to stir up topics, to have discussions, to put stuff out there so that people can react, share their opinions, and be a part of the conversation. Now, while you're doing that, can you go ahead and hit that like button? Because your likes are going to help get this out to more people. And then hit that subscribe button if you haven't yet. We are growing, and we want to grow more, and we want you to subscribe because that gets you in to be part of the Value Wrestling family. And if you do it now, you're definitely on that ground floor, that first level. You're going to be one of the fans that was there at the very beginning. And we appreciate everybody who subscribed, and we appreciate everybody who will subscribe. And we thank you for taking the time out of your day to watch us, no matter what the program may be. It may be myself in here with Big Time Rants. It may be an audio article. It may be Jane with her 100% marks. Whether you agree with her opinion on everything, it's a good listen. That's what makes wrestling great, is listening to other opinions and discussing it. Whether you come back and watch us on Sundays at 12 p.m. Pacific Standard Time for the weekly roundup where we discuss everything going down in wrestling, whether you join us after a pay-per-view event or for any of our other shows like Marty Richards and the Messiah's Wisdom, we are happy to be here, and we are happy that you enjoy the content. We just ask you that you subscribe, hit that like button, ring that bell for notifications, because you always want to know when new videos are going to come out, because you never know what's going on. One of the greatest new things we're doing on Shorts, or at least I'm doing on Shorts, it is all part of the Value Wrestling family, even though I may be the one that is physically on the camera and doing it, has been this date in wrestling history. It is an awesome time to learn different events that happen in wrestling history, like today. If you haven't gone and watched it, go check it out, because today, one of the largest cliques, one of the largest, biggest groups in professional wrestling was dubbed today, was created, was proclaimed to be who they became to be, and they have lived on for many, many decades in namesake, and is still a name that when you say it, it rings throughout a crowd that brings special music. So go watch this date in wrestling history, because I think You might learn something interesting to know. Anyways, I am the Big Time. I have rambled on way too long, longer than I wanted to, but I appreciate you being here. And until the next episode, I'm the Big Time. This has been the Big Time Rant, and until some more news breaks, we'll see you next time.